Thursday, good morning to you, SimWorld. Coming onto the screen right now is Rick Blaze. This is SimWorld today, and this is Marsh. Good morning, Rick. How are we feeling?
Either these mornings are getting earlier or my nights are getting later. I don't know which one is which, but I'm here. Good morning.
You look it. You look it. What can I say? We got a big episode today. Of course, we're gonna get to the action in SimWorld Prep. A full night of action, including a huge win in
Yes, it
Virginia. But
was.
first, we're gonna start down in the association where we were in Miami. The Mavericks obliterate the Miami Heat, who continue to struggle. Rick, it has not been a good little stretch for Miami recently. It has been for the Mavs. They get win number 50, allows the Knicks to clinch the playoffs, incidentally, but huge win for the Mavs that are looking legit, and the Heat continue to not look it.
Hey, this is what the Mavs were built to do, right? You got Luka Doncic, you have Kyrie Irving. Those two guys are phenomenal, and they're playing phenomenal. I mean, they put a whipping on my Rockets. Kyrie had 6 or something the other night, and Luka's doing this thing every night. And the others are playing really good in their position. So right now, the Mavs are rolling. You got to give them credit. They're one of the hottest teams coming down the stretch, and yeah, they're just handling business right now. So kudos to them. I don't make a habit of saying kudos too many times to other teams in the state of Texas, but kudos to the Mavs for doing their thing. It is what it is, and again, they're one of those teams. They've been one of the hottest teams coming down the stretch in the playoffs. So
It's a historic day in SimWorld today for Rick to say anything positive of anything outside of Houston in the state of Texas. But Dallas kind of got dragged during the immediate aftermath of the trade deadline for all they gave up to get rid of Grant Williams, to bring in PJ Washington, to bring in Daniel Gafford. Since the trade deadline, I think they have lost maybe 3 times when fully healthy. One of them's to the Warriors, don't forget it. But also one of them, big win to the Warriors because the Warriors are what we know they are. But anyway, back to the team that actually matters. They've been very good because of this lineup change. They actually have a center. That wasn't to say Derek Lively wasn't dynamic on the inside or capable, but the introduction of Daniel Gafford has been really good to that interior defense, because when you have guards like Luka and Kyrie, you need somebody inside that can deter potential drivers once they inevitably get past Luka and Kyrie. And of course, if you're going to have to go through Denver, who we'll get to in a second with a big win against Minnesota, you need somebody. I'm not Daniel Gafford's no Jokic stopper. That person does not exist on planet Earth. But you need somebody that has the size to at least make Jokic sweat a touch more than he normally would. But watching Dallas, one thing that's painfully obvious is Kyrie continues to be a bucket getter. And now that the conversation on Kyrie is not about, well, he's said this about that, and he's not going to get this done, and he's going to do this, that, and the other, when it's just about he's been drama free, not like somewhat drama free, completely drama free. He is just hitting bucket after clutch bucket. It is fun. It is peak Cleveland version of Kyrie, where you've got the obvious alpha of the offense in Luka, and then Kyrie's just like, yeah, well, let me cook, and it's been fun to watch.
yeah, and I mean, we just gonna call a spade a spade. I think the obvious alpha depends on what part of the game you're talking about, because there's points in time where
Well,
Kyrie looks like, yeah,
hold
I need to
on. Yeah,
just,
when Luka's on
yeah, I
the
need to
bench,
sit back.
let's not
Come
say
on,
Luka's
hold on,
not
hold
the
on, hold
alpha.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Rick,
You're
Luka's top
telling me
five in the league.
that's fine. I don't deny that two things can be true at the same time. You know that, right, Marsh? Luka can
Yeah,
be
no, I
top
agree
five in the
with you.
league, and Kyrie Irving can still be that dog that he is. And when you see him,
Yeah,
he's giving boys the business inside, outside, post game.
you're
He's
right.
dunking on boys now. Kyrie's dunking now. I've never seen Kyrie take more than one dunk in the whole season. He had like 3 dunks in 1 week. Like, he is. You want to talk about the difference maker? Let's just call it balls and strikes. Aside from some of the other players, before Kyrie got on the squad, Dallas was losing. Dunkage was there. They wasn't winning though. He was cute, but they wasn't winning though. Kyrie
Well,
being Kyrie, now they're winning.
They did go to the Western Conference Finals, albeit when the West wasn't as good as it is now. So let's not discredit too much of Doncic because Luka has been phenomenal. I know complimenting Dallas teams, Rick, is difficult for you. So I think what we're gonna get out of you that was compliments enough. But yes, they have been phenomenal now. Meanwhile, Denver, they get a big win over Minnesota last night. That gives them the upper hand for the number one seed in the Western Conference. None of this should be of any surprise to anybody. I think I've been saying for a while that Denver is the best team. I think they're coming out of the West. Minnesota is great. They've had a great season, but this is just Denver's season to lose. At this point, they have been so good, Rick. It feels inconsequential that they would be the number one seed.
Yeah, I mean they've been holding it down all season long. I like what Minnesota has been doing this regular season. The playoffs time is coming. It's going to be a different beast and a different animal. Uh, and when it comes to Minnesota, again, I think they're like 2 years away from before their person that's on their team is the number one player in SWBA. So I'm more looking around at the individual person than the team when it comes to Minnesota. But yeah, as far as the number one team out the West, I mean, you'll be a fool to say anything other than Denver.
Heading to the Diamond, where the gambling escapades that have surrounded some of the items here in
We
SimWorld
can't
Prep
say that. We can't say that word. That word is
escapades,
no, not escapades. You can say that word.
gambling.
I said that. Yeah, that word is kind of like taboo around here.
Well, it's true. I don't know what the challenge is. There's been a couple people embroiled in it. Well, the top line of it has also kind of continued to pick up speed. Shohei Ohtani is continuing to play the victim card, and it appears to be true as his former translator is working towards a guilty plea. Rick, that would do that. He would be the one that would be considered the reasoning for it, for actually stealing the money. Thoughts on that as we get. Also, by the way, big night for that Royals, as you see on the screen. 5 ribbies for Pasquantino, and the Royals pick up a blowout win. But Rick, to the Shohei piece, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, how did you think this was gonna play out? I mean, you have to think about let's just think about all things considered here. They went through a lot of Major League Baseball, SimWorld League. They went through a lot of trouble to get Shohei Ohtani. I'm gonna butcher his name. To the league, and then this scandal pops up. Oh, somebody got to sit on this sword, and it's not gonna be the guy we spent all this time, money, and resources to get on the team. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying he had any. I'm not saying he's completely innocent. I'm not saying he's completely guilty, but I'm just saying he knows something about something. But somebody has to fall on the sword totally, and it's a better look if the translator falls on the sword 100% than if Otani's anywhere mentioned about him having anything to do with any knowledge of anything whatsoever. I'm not
Rick,
saying no man's guilty. I'm just saying, more often than not, people more complicit than what meets the eye.
Rick, what's that little bonnet you got on your head made out of?
Silk, baby, the finest
It
things.
kind of looks like tinfoil with that conspiracy you're cooking up. So you're considering here that Shohei Ohtani's the fall guy. He's the only fall guy, and the SWLB is jumping in to say we got to find a scapegoat on all this.
No, I'm saying that my man says he doesn't know anything, and I find that hard to believe.
Well, you just said that the league spent all this money to get him here, and now they don't want they need somebody to fall on the sword.
Well, they need his name. They need his name to stay clean, and
Mm.
it is what it is. Why? If he's not, if I can get him out of the way, let's get him out of harm's way. Of course.
I'm not
Too much
disagreeing with you
I spent too
because
much
I do think
resources to
it's
get him here. I'm not finna throw him under the bus. He just got here.
there are a lot of interesting pieces to all this, and the fact that we can't hear directly from him is the
That's
is
that's the
he can
sweetest.
speak
It's the
publicly and not
sweetest.
have to. What I would love to know, Rick, and I don't know one way or not. I like to try to give benefit of the doubt to those who do reporting. I'm not saying to organizations because you're right. There is obviously a vested interest by the league office to have an outcome of some kind come of this. But there's a number of investigative people that cover this type of thing, and I like to give the benefit of the doubt to them if they find something of substance. What I would love to know though is he has a translator that's going to obviously say what we believe to be what Shohei Ohtani or anyone that's a
Allegedly.
translator for that matter are going to say. Is
Hmm.
he actually saying that? I don't know. Like that has always been my big question in any translator. It's like, is he actually saying it? Like you watch TV. I know TV is not reality, but the the person I'm watching Shogun, they've got the barbarian in there, John Blackthorne. He says something, and then the
Hmm.
translator's like, he says this, and like paraphrase. So I just don't know. Is the translator saying verbatim, or they're like, you kind of messed up that statement. Don't worry, I gotcha.
Money
We'll
talks.
move.
Everything else walks.
There we go. Moving to the prep world where tons of positives last night, and the biggest one is Southeast Select is legit. They pick up a huge win, their fifth in a row over BCDs on the road. Massive implications of this. They have now beat Lakeshore Drive, Philadelphia Elite, and Beasts of the East in 3 consecutive games. I don't know if you can find a more representative sample of what the race to one opponents are going to look like over a 3-game stretch. But credit to Southeast Select, to Brett Lee. This team is back, Rick, and they are dominating the Blue Bloods of SimWorld Prep.
Southeast Select is doing what Southeast Select does around this time. That is win ball games. I didn't pick them to win this game, but when you look at the history of Southeast Select and Coach Lee, I should have, because history says around this time of years when Southeast Select get cooking, and they're going to remain cooking. Of course, if history is serves me correct, they're going to remain cooking from this point until they get to the race to one. And when the game's on the line, then they probably going to drop the ball somewhere along that line. But from now until that moment in time in the race to one tournament, you can expect Southeast Select to be one of the top teams in SimWorld Prep, because this is the time of year when they get to cooking. This is the time of year when Coach Lee, who is the all-time winningest coach in SimWorld Prep history, this is the time when he makes his name to his claim. Right during this time, this is his winning time. This is his sweet spot for his team.
I look, I wasn't gonna break my rule of not picking against Coach Drayton, but you're right. Obviously, proven wrong in what was a phenomenal game and an extremely well coached one from Coach Brett Lee for a group that's, you're right. They're peaking at the perfect time. They're probably going to end up with a #1 seed in the race to one, thanks to taking over in that region. It's going to be a phenomenal finish, and they did it on the back of defense. Not the only game, so we're going to head to our SimWorld Roundup as we tipped things off at noon with Showtime and SimWorld Africa. SimWorld Africa getting the 8-point victory. 2 players in double figures on rebounds, 3 players double figures in scoring. Rick, 69-61 win.
Hey, and can I might be jumping here. But hey, they look really good. They struggled. They came all the way back for that to get that win. But let's talk about APAC and Lakeshore Drive. APAC picks up the big win over a very talented Lakeshore Drive team. Good job for APAC with that. Putting it up, putting it down. Good. Not only was a good win, but a great win for them.
Southeast Select, we talked about a 13-point win. They outscored Beasts of the East by 5 in the fourth quarter to pull away from it. Keandre Baldridge, 15-7, leads the way for Southeast.
Keandre Baldridge has been doing his thing. Hey, and I got to talk about my boys. My boys. The Farewell Tour is in effect, baby. Middle East get the big win on the road. I gave the pep talk, and goddamn, it worked. They won. I want them to keep winning. They are now 1-1 on the Farewell Tour season.
4 points in the fourth quarter for ATLians. Royce Anderson, 2 of 17. Efficient. 80-71 win for SimWorld Atlantis thanks to Bjarni Johnson cooking up 29. They rally back in the second half, dominate in overtime for their 14th win of the season.
And you got BCB, Best Coast Ballers, South America. You want to know how this ended?
Yeah,
we all
please.
know how this ended. How did this end, Marsh?
You tell me.
When I set you up, you're supposed to dunk it. Like, you never play ball today.
That's your game. I did all the other. That's your game to tell.
Oh, you a pickleball player? Is that what it is?
Every
You're
now,
a pickleball
every
player?
now and again. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Pickleball to me seems like the game for lazy folks who don't want to play tennis. Like, it's the Fisher Price version of tennis to me. South America won, by the way.
Let's do that.
But it's the Fisher Price version of tennis to me. All you new pickleball players, you're weird. Just play tennis.
Well, some people
stop being lazy.
Some people like that pickle. So we've got a big game of SimWorld Prep tonight. Triple header returns. Queen City Kings Gotham 5. The North Gulf Coast Lockdown. Bay Area amidst all the drama, and Best Coast Ballers rounded it out. That's 7, 8, and 9. And of course, we're going to be on it. Got that 7 p.m. broadcast. Make sure you're tuning in. A lot of hoops going on as we hit the home stretch here in SimWorld Prep. For Rick, thank you for joining us. I've been Marsh. I'll continue to be Marsh. He'll continue to be Rick. And we'll be back tomorrow morning. Do it all again.